What's up, y'all? This is D Chain with D Chain Sports. I just want to jump straight into it. Most people believe that Canelo Alvarez is just going to run right through Caleb Plant. This fight's going to be easy. And here's what you have to understand. A lot of that is because Caleb Plant isn't well known. He's not a big boxer. He wasn't a prospect that has been highly touted his whole career and yada yada. But here's what they don't understand is that skills, no matter who you have faced, are skills. Just because you fight higher tier fighters doesn't mean your skills are better than what they are. And just because you face lower tier fighters doesn't mean your skills are worse than what they are. Caleb Plant's skills are what they are no matter who he's fought. Now, as you can tell by the title of the video, I do have Caleb Plant winning this fight. But before I get into the breakdown of the fighters and why I think that, I just want to throw it out there that I do not dislike Canelo Alvarez. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Every fight is good. You have to watch every minute because you never know what's going to happen. So I know a lot of people are going to be in the comments like, oh, you're a Charlo fanboy or you're a Triple G lover or whatever. I think Canelo would kill Charlo, and I think he's a tier above Triple G, as he proved in the second fight. Now, we basically all know what Canelo does well and what he doesn't do well. There's not many weaknesses. The little bit of weaknesses you could come up with are probably his feet. His footwork isn't very good at all. He's very flat-footed. His feet are slow. But besides that, there's not really anything else. I mean, we all know his strengths, lots of power. His hands are extremely fast. Defensively, his head movement is amazing. His torso movement is amazing. He boxes with a good high guard. His counter shots are probably the best in the game. He used to have trouble with stamina late in fights. But recently, last couple fights, that looks like it is solved, and he's become more of a hunter at the end of fights or getting towards the end of fights. And I think if Canelo wins, that'll be the key to the fight for him. It'll be attacking the body of Caleb Plant in the beginning of the fight as Canelo kind of loses rounds. And then towards the end, his hope would be similar to the Plant versus Uzcatsky fight. Plant would kind of simmer down, get lower on energy. His body would be a little beat up, and then Canelo could try and unload and finish him. And that'll be the key to the fight for Canelo. Caleb Plant, though, a lot of people don't know because most people, especially these people saying that Caleb Plant has no chance, have never watched Caleb Plant in a full fight. You've maybe watched some highlights. You've read comments, you've seen little clips of certain fights and stuff like that. But not nobody, but a lot of people who are commenting on this fight have never sat and watched a live Caleb Plant fight. He's a very slick boxer. He has the biggest advantage he has in this fight is that where Canelo's weakness is his feet, Caleb's feet are at the top of boxing. At this weight class, I think he has the best footwork. I think he has better footwork than any middleweight in the game as well. He has an amazing jab. His head is always moving. He's a good counter striker, just like Canelo. Him and Canelo actually have more similarities than people think. One, they're both always in the gym. Nobody works harder than these two fighters. And how everyone always gives Canelo that credit, Caleb Plant deserves that credit. He said it many times, and there's video proof. These boxing people are always in the gym with the cameras, and Caleb Plant's always there. Whether he has a fight or not, he's always in the gym. They're both in incredible shape, and it should be a really good fight. And it should, in my opinion, go towards the end of the fight. So where I see Caleb Plant winning is, like we've seen in the past, Floyd Mayweather, Lara, Amir Khan until he got knocked out, but he should have never been fighting Canelo, jumping all those weight classes. But he was having success until he did get knocked out cold. Plant does a lot of these similar things that these other fighters do. Just slick, looking to not get hit, but also dish a lot of offense. Not a lot of power, but a lot of speed shots. For the MMA fans out there, think Max Holloway, somebody like that who doesn't pack a lot of power, but you like to get off a lot of shots. Caleb is extremely accurate, and he targets certain spots on the body that are going to hurt whether you pack a lot of power or not. He's just extremely accurate. He's quick. His footwork is amazing. His IQ is top tier. And working with Andre Ward in this camp is just going to help that. I don't see Caleb Plant, like, it's not like I'm saying 100% he's going to win the fight and all that. This is boxing, and Canelo Alvarez is the pound-for-pound #1 fighter. If I had to give it percentages, I think I would go 60-40 Caleb Plant. How I think I see the fight going is being a decision that Caleb Plant wins. I think he'll win 8 or 9 rounds. I think he's going to box around Canelo all day, and it's not going to be what people think, like, oh, Caleb's a defensive fighter, he's going to run, he's going to look not to get hit, all this stuff. No, Caleb Plant is an offensive fighter. If you actually watch his fights, he likes to go on the attack. He just also has slick defensive skills, and he likes to counter. But he is attack first. It's just not with power. It's mostly with speed and accuracy. But I see it going unanimous decision, Caleb Plant. But it wouldn't shock me if, like I said earlier in the video, Canelo Alvarez beats his body, and then it gets to the 9th, 10th round, and Caleb Plant's exhausted. He has a beat-up body, and Canelo gets a stoppage. That wouldn't be shocking at all. I could see that as a possibility. And I could also see Caleb Plant trying to be so offensively dominant early in the fight while Canelo's trying to figure him out that he throws so many punches through, let's say, 4 or 5 rounds that he gasses himself out. And then Canelo takes over from there, and he could even win by decision. That wouldn't be shocking either. I just see Caleb Plant as so much better than what most people think he is. I've been watching him for a few years now. I've been waiting for him to get this shot. I did think that it would be David Benavidez or the Charlo first. Unfortunately, it's not, because it would have been nice to see him take that step before facing the pound-for-pound #1 in the world. But I do think Caleb Plant is good enough to be one of these names that we talk about in boxing. When you talk about the Canelos and the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences, just everybody that's top tier. When they get a fight, we all go, yes, finally, Tyson Fury, whoever. Caleb Plant is that type of boxer. He has just never gotten the opportunity, and he's done well in every opportunity that he has gotten. People forget he was a big underdog to Jose Uzcategui, who was out here knocking people out who were very good. And he's taller than Caleb, longer than Caleb, and punches very, very hard. He's one of the best punchers, if not the best, in the weight class. Maybe David Benavidez has him in power slightly. I guess we'll see. They're about to fight upcoming. But just like this fight, everyone said, oh, Caleb's never fought anybody like Uzcategui. He's never fought a power puncher who's going to pressure him. He's never been taken into those late rounds. He's never been hit with that kind of power. He's only faced bums. So he was a big underdog going into that fight. And people like the Benavidezes who are saying Canelo's going to put Caleb in the hospital and all this stuff, they were saying the same thing with Uzcategui, that he was going to knock Caleb out. And then what happened? If you guys go watch that fight, Caleb whooped him. It really wasn't close. Towards the end, I mean, you could give Uzcategui like 4 rounds out of 12, and he did clip Caleb once. But again, Caleb has a really good chin, just like Canelo, and his legs actually never wobbled. He clipped him, one of the biggest punchers in the division and around this weight class, hit an open chin shot, and Caleb didn't even wobble. He used his skills just like Canelo has when he got wobbled, the one time that he got wobbled, and then bounced back from it and won by unanimous decision. So either way, I think this is a great fight. I think Canelo is amazing. He's a legend. To me, he's the best Mexican fighter of all time. And I know some people are sensitive about that, but I think he's already deserved that. And I think Caleb Plant is one of the best boxers in boxing. And I think just because he hasn't fought the level of competition to get him on pay-per-views and TV, he's not a name that we know yet. But this will be the fight. And after this fight, Caleb Plant will be a superstar. And then we'll get Plant versus Canelo 2. And then it'll be even bigger than it is right now. And that's just my prediction. So thank you guys for listening. I can't wait to watch this fight. And we're going to start doing more boxing and MMA breakdowns, predictions on this channel. So go ahead, hit the like and subscribe. See you guys next time.